what's going down, 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 down. Some shit you gotta peep unless you sleep. But one of the sheep, you now rocking with the elite.
Yo, welcome back. Another episode of Neighborhood CEOs. We got another special guest, man, but we're gonna introduce him in a second, man. I got my co-host in here, Lionel. Lionel, what's up, man? How you feeling?
Hey, man, feeling great, man. Feeling blessed, excited about what we got in the house today. So, yeah, ready to get into it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm John, by the way, if everybody don't know. And Lionel, we gonna say, man, this the last one, man. Last one off the list, man. We checked
Yeah.
it off. We checking off the last one. We first started. We had the people we said who we want to talk to, who we need to get. And everybody said his name, said, yo, y'all should get him on. You know, where he been? Where he at? And I don't know where he at, because I didn't hit him up, man. I don't know where he's at. I said, I thought we was a light-skinned guy supposed to stick together, man. I said, but I don't know where he at, man. I've been reaching out to him. We finally, hey, that's why, hey, it's all about who you know, man, because he might not seen my messages. We had his boy in here, Daniel Ginsberg. Shout out to Daniel, man. And he said, hey, y'all need to talk to Julian. And I said, we'll be looking for him. And hey, he put it together, man. So we here, man. We got the Juicman, Julian Juicman, man. Mr. Julian Ramirez, man. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Appreciate y'all having me. I wish I could have made it happen earlier, but we here, so.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, perfect timing, man. Perfect timing, man.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, man. It's just, hey, when everything aligns, you can make it happen. So,
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's it, man. So, Julian, man, first we need to do everybody, man. How you feeling, man? You the health guru, man. You should be feeling pretty good, man. But how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I am. I'm a little, tired actually, but we doing the cleanse. Today is the first day of our group cleanse, and I've been, for the last month, I've been in the kitchen every day pretty much. So I'm coming off that. So, my body's a little tired, but juicing today and everything, and we're going to be doing this cleanse over the next couple of days. So that's going to bring the energy back. So feeling good.
That's solid. Well,
Yeah,
talk.
Go ahead.
I was just saying real quick, if you could tap into that cleanse, like what's that like? Because John and I, at the start of the year, we came in the year doing a 3-day juice cleanse. My cousin that he joins us from time to time, Lamar, he was on a water cleanse, right? And me and John was like, I don't know about the water cleanse, right? So what's your cleanse? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we do about 8 years ago now, I started to do a 3-day juice cleanse at the turn of every season. So that kind of just keeps us on top of our health. At the change of every season, there's new foods in season, new bacteria in the air. So that kind of just helps. It's like a maintenance cleanse to just keep things in the body working well and flushing toxins out and stuff like that. So yeah, we do that cleanse at the turn of every season, and March just hit, or spring just hit, so we're about to do we're doing it. But we do half a gallon of juice every day for 3 days, and then we do a half a gallon of water as well. So it makes for a full gallon of that liquid that we need. Half of it's water, and then half of it is the H3O, as they like to call it, the living water with all the nutrients and everything else you need. And yeah, we just flush, clean house for 3 days, just rinse all the toxins out and put all that liquid energy in us. And then we get back to our regular scheduled program after that.
That's awesome.
Hey, so tell me how you come up with, I know I don't think they never teach us this in school. So you had to do this on your own or find it somewhere. So how you put together, like, all right, springtime, we need to incorporate these fruits, these vegetables versus winter or versus summer. How you differentiate, like, what you promote that people, take or drink.
Yeah, so we usually do a very general cleanse during the cleanses. The We've done a couple of, customized cleanses during the seasons, but for the most part, it's just an abundance of different fruits and vegetables from all different colors of the rainbow. So we can kind of cover all categories. So any vitamins and minerals we may be lacking in, we would be getting those in on the cleanse to kind of refill all of our fuel tanks, and then we can kind of get back into eating healthy. Kind of kickstarts a healthy eating habit, and then also flushes out all of those toxins that we've accumulated over the last couple months. But yeah, like the eating would probably be more, I would say, when you go back in, you eat what's in season, like they say, right? So, um, yeah, so a lot of times we do a general cleanse that we have because we can find year-round produce items. They're easy to find when they're year-round like that. So we do like a broad general cleanse and then get back into eating, and that's kind of how we do it.
That's awesome. That's pretty dope, man. Since I can tell there's a lot of research that's involved in juicing, just what each fruit does. I ran across something the other day, and it broke down how the color of the fruit does something different.
Yeah.
And like orange fruit or orange vegetables does. And so, I mean, like what is that like for you? Like, just your craft. I mean, because this is your craft. Like, just being able to have that knowledge, have that information. What's that like? What's that been like for you over the years on this health journey?
It's been mind blowing, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Just like speaking of the colors, like you said, also some of the foods look like what they're good for.
Mm,
Like I'm sure y'all have heard, this walnuts are good for the brain, right? Because it looks like
mm,
a brain, and
brain, right?
you open a carrot and it looks like an eye on the inside of the carrot, right?
Mm,
It's good for the eyes and stuff like that. Um, Celery, they say, is good for your blood circulation, and if you hold the celery up to your forearm, it looks like
right.
the veins in your forearm and stuff like that, right? So
It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's been mind blowing, like learning all of this stuff, and unlearning all of the things that we were taught. To your point, so yeah, it's just so much, and the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know nothing, right? Like,
Nothing.
so it's like, and then
Yeah.
every person is different, so everybody has different ailments, so trying different things to see what's gonna work with your body, it's been a journey and mind blowing, all the things you hear and learn and how people have cured themselves from, this and that, and juicing, for one example, the father of juicing, he was ex NFL player from like the 60s, I believe, 70s, and he was kind of the guy that made juicing famous. He had cancer and started to drink a carrot apple juice, 8 ounces, 8 times a day. So he would drink a half gallon of that one flavor, and then he tag teamed that with healthy eating. But he was able to cure his cancer, and it's like
Wow.
learning all of these things, and it's just
Hmm.
mind blowing, But it's been
Yeah.
such a cool journey to kind of go down.
You know that
Yeah.
guy? You know his name? You remember his name?
Yeah, it's Jay Cordick. Jay
Okay.
Cordick.
Yeah. Shout out
Yeah.
to Jay, man. I don't think. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a. I never knew that. I mean, I never knew that. And I always wondered, like, you play ball, you still play ball a little bit. I played. I ain't out there no more. Maybe I've got to find a juice that can get me back out there. I ain't found that one yet, but I'm working on it, man. But I always wonder, like, when you're playing sports, like, I can't just be juicing. I'm playing basketball, or a football. I hear football players say they vegan or they just, they're vegetarian. But I always wonder. I always thought of, like, I guess we saying unlearn stuff. I always thought, like, you can't do that if you're gonna be playing something where you're up and down, burning calories, sweating. You can't just be juicing, or you can't just be eating fruit and vegetables. But now I know it's different. So, of course, you probably back when you were playing, you wasn't just juicing then. You was probably eating whatever you wanted, but you still play now. So you find that make you feel any different from the way you live, your diet now, and still trying to
Yeah.
be active out here?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel so much better on the court because my body's just a lot cleaner than what it was. I was very congested with the food as I was eating, and I would be able to run for a little while, but then I would get gassed quick, because of the inflammation in my body. Now I'm running, so my body is even more inflamed because I'm using it at a high rate, and then on top of the inflammation I already had, I was tapping out quick. Like I was always losing gas in college. I remember in the second half, I would always be losing gas, and when I came home from college, I would say playing in the Tonsley League, being out there, I was seeing like the difference in my conditioning and my stamina. It was just much better, and I was not even working out nearly as much as I was in college.
Mm.
Now, I don't know if y'all been out there recently, but I'm 34 now, so it don't look as good now.
Yeah, I
But when I
seen you.
was first
I
out,
seen you out there last year. I checked you. I think I saw you a
yeah,
couple times last year.
I'll be tired out there now because them young boys, they be running circles around us. But
Yeah.
when I first came home from college, it was easy to notice the difference because I was like 1, 2 years out of college and I was already plant-based and juicing a lot. And I saw the difference. It was really crazy. And you don't want to be, just on juice, like a juice diet out there
Yeah, yeah,
hooping,
yeah,
because you probably wouldn't have enough calories. You could
yeah.
do it, if you get enough calories in, but you're going to have to drink like 2 gallons of juice a day to get like
Yeah,
3,000 calories in. So
yeah.
that's kind of, you're going to be going to the bathroom a lot and all that. So,
Yeah.
but, uh, but yeah, I've definitely noticed the difference. And it also goes with the eating, I'm 100% plant-based, so that also helps. So the
Mm,
juicing combined with that, it's like a power team.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
That's impressive, man.
yeah, it is.
I was gonna ask you, was you all the way with it, man? So you said you're 100% plant based, no seafood, nothing like that.
Now, it's been 8 years now. I've been 100% plant-based or vegan, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Do you ever get like you don't get no urges to try pepperoni pizza or steak and cheese? You don't get no urges or none of that no more.
Nah, nah, it was,
Yeah, that's good.
yes, I've had a couple slip-ups. I had one the other day, but it's whenever I have a slip-up, it's like a honest mistake. Like the other day, I was eating
Okay.
a chocolate bar and it had a little bit of whey protein in it, and I was like, dang, I saw it after I looked at the label. So I've had like one a year, so probably about 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But those are slip ups. But as far as urges, in the first couple months, I had urges, but after that, my palate kind of changed and it started to crave the things I was eating. And I love to eat. So I was at the beginning, I
yeah,
was eating a lot of vegan junk food. So like fried stuff,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
chips, cakes, and all these vegan things. So that was kind of like, I think, what made it go away quickly. So instead
yeah.
of craving, junk food like regular burgers, I was just craving vegan burgers. So that kind of helped me get off of it. And then I started to clean it up from there. So it got cleaner and cleaner.
Yeah. A step by step process. It's nothing overnight. It sounds like. So like, and the juicing complements it. I imagine just you. It's like one thing I'm learning. I mean, John has inspired me, and we've had a couple other guys on here who does the juicing, and always kind of been more like I mean, make a smoothie in the morning, but not consistent. And then wife and I this year we invested in a juicer, and it was like, oh wow, like this is actually like I can grab a juice and versus grabbing a snack. That's something that gives me the nutrients I need versus trying to crunch on something nonetheless. And so I going back to the cleanse, like I noticed I also gave up alcohol during that time frame too. And so like I felt a lot lighter inflammation wise as well,
Yeah.
and just understanding making healthy choices is definitely a lifestyle and not something that you can pick up and put back down because you're never going to get where you're trying to go. You can never shake those cravings the way you want to. But no, it's dope, man, that you kind of have shifted everything. And um, what do you think inspired your mindset to shift the way it has away from the unhealthy foods and just kind of take this journey that you've been on the last 8 years?
It was really two things. The spark of it all was when my grandmother passed. So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of close to home, and she had cancer. We didn't, ever think she would get cancer because nobody that we knew of before her had cancer. So it wasn't like in our family like that. And out of nowhere, she got it, and she, wasn't, it didn't look like she was in bad shape or anything like that. She was vibrant, you know, nice and fit body wise, and she just didn't seem like she was sick. So that kind of just changed my perception. Like maybe I need to be more aware about what I'm doing because I might get it because I thought she looked okay. So maybe looks don't tell it all. So that kind of made me start baking my chicken and baking my salmon and stuff and eating whole foods as sides. And so I was cleaning up my diet that way at first. And then the second thing was when I saw What the Health. It was a
Hmm.
documentary.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Have y'all seen
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because I always thought it's the circle of life. Like we need animal products to survive, and if we don't eat animals, like we're gonna die. So I was like, it sucks the slaughterhouse footage and all that stuff, but we need them or we're gonna die. So it's just how it is. But once I learned that we can, survive, not only survive, but we could thrive without eating them, then I was like, well, what would we need to eat? And then that documentary breaks all that down. And it breaks down the miseducation and why we're not taught this, right? And it goes into the studies about how, like, there's studies about eggs that are shown that eggs are healthy when that study was performed by the egg industry and stuff like that.
Right.
So, it's kind of like mind blowing. That's like back to that. That was the beginning of it all when I started to learn this stuff, and it was mind blowing. And I was like, wow. So I started to look into so many more things, and that's when I started to learn all the things that we were talking about. But those two things were kind of like what sparked the whole movement and the journey for me. And I just like fell in love with it. And I was like, I want to learn more, because what if I would have learned all this stuff a year ago and I would have been able to share it with my grandmother? Like, she might be here. So that was kind of the inspiration behind it all.
Yeah, solid, man. Solid why,
Yeah.
Years ago, somebody, it was like, you have to have a why that could make a grown man cry, you know what I mean? And like, like your why's strong. And
Good
so, yeah, man, like what's hurting you, when you think about it, right? And it seemed like your passion's really been ignited by that. And it's, I mean, what you have now, I mean, we get into that in a sec, but, just, it's beautiful to kind of see this, and somebody from, I don't know if definitely, I can claim, I mean, Savannah, right? We in there, so I know you, I know your roots is New York, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Half.
man. Say that again.
I always say half. I'm like half of my roots are in New York and half is down here.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. But yeah, man. So, Julian's Juice Box.
Yes, sir.
Solid, man. Since 2017, we kind of just heard the inspiration behind it. Sounds like. What made you transition into the vision of all right, this can be not just for me, but now I can give it to other people. Like what led to that mentality around business for you?
Yeah, so it's crazy because it all happened so organically, and that's how I knew, a year or two in, I was like, this is crazy how we've gotten to here. So I knew I had to go all in, but I had worked in the food industry almost since I was 15, 16 years old. So like as soon as I got down to Virginia when I was 14, when I was like 15, 16, I got a job at Dairy Queen right there at the lake.
Okay.
And I was working there. So I started to learn the food industry, right? And like all of that delivery, taking orders and stuff like that. And not even a couple months after I started working, health inspector came, pulled the machine back. I don't know if y'all know this, but there was maggots in the ice cream machine hose in the back, and they shut that Dairy Queen down.
I never ate that.
Crazy. I did because I was working there. So crazy. I ate all that ice cream, but man, shut the whole thing down. Lost my job that day. That was crazy.
Oh, man.
But then I worked, I bounced over to like Villanova's. I worked at Villanova's. There was a spot called Bagelicious. I don't know if y'all remember that. I worked there. So I was always working in the food industry. And then eventually when I got home from college, basketball was over. So I had nothing to do. So I just got a job at Papa John's delivering pizza. I already knew the food industry. And I worked my way up at Papa John's and became the store manager on Pantops. So I was running that store for like a year, and Lake Monticello as well. And I was running those stores, so I learned, how to climb the ladder. And then I saw there wasn't much further I was going. So I was like, I'm going to need to figure something else out here. Because I was the store manager making $15 an hour. And I was like, a store manager be running stuff, So it's getting better now. I've seen, 6-figure salaries and stuff at these fast food chains and stuff. But back then, 2017, 16, 17, I didn't see a future for that. So I was like, man. And I had just already started to dip into healthy eating and stuff. So I was just naturally at the time, divine timing, like we talked about, I just had naturally started to share this stuff on social media with no intentions of starting a business, selling anything at that, nothing. And then, as I'm working at Papa John's, I start to get requests and, from friends and family just asking, can you make me some of that juice that you got on your story? Looks good. What is that? And I'm yeah, $5, you know, like
Yeah.
make some money here because this isn't cheap. So, and
Right.
it takes time. So, that's like how it started. So from that, one thing led to the next, and it just started to travel out to different counties. Started in Fluvanna. Then I went to Tonsler with a cooler of juices one day, and that kind of spread like wildfire. Everybody knew I had juices, started asking every week. And then once it got to the point where somebody I didn't know asked me, I was like, all right, I got to get a business license because I don't know
Yeah.
this person. And then that kind of made me think of it more seriously. And then all of my friends from college had gone back home to their cities and states, right? And they started to ask if I could ship it. So I'm thinking raw, three-day shelf life, I can't do that, right?
Yeah.
And I started doing some research and find out, no, there's actually only like three businesses in the United States back then doing this. And I was like, whoa, there's some wide open for competition here. So that's when I really dove in. And that was about a year. I was already a year in about at that point. And I was like, this couldn't be more than just a side hustle to supplement, like to add on to my Papa John's. I could completely wipe out Papa John's and quit and go full time if I really go hard on this. And that's what I did. I just all in, and in a year or two, I think by 2021, I was able to quit my job. And then, been full time ever since, and it's been growing every year.
What did that feel like?
Yeah.
Man, it was great.
What did that feel like?
It was funny because that's a lie. I didn't quit. I got fired.
Okay. But still.
It was like divine timing because I was to the point where I was like making more than I was getting paid, and I was like, I need a jump a long time ago, but I was like scared. So I ended up getting fired because I told the truth in a question in a like check-in with the
They
boss.
pushed you. So they pushed you off. You ain't had to jump.
Yeah, I was like, a whole nother story, but they
Yeah.
basically fired me because I said something wrong in a check-in, and I was like, man, this was meant to be and I remember walking out, I took a big deep breath, and I was like, I was ready for this. This is too long. This has been pushed off for too long. So, and I was scared to do it, but then I haven't been back. I haven't had a job since, so it was confirmation that I should have done it a while ago. But
That's it.
it's been ever since then, just been 100% focused on this, trying to serve as many people as we can, and just educate everyone that wants to know about juices.
Yeah, solid, man.
That's the American dream, man. I mean, hey, that's the dream. That's what everybody people that work a 9 to 5, they wish for that day when they can walk out of there willingly or whatever. And you did it unwillingly, but hey, it was overdue for you. But I mean, that's what everybody does, man. People that's balancing both, like me and Lionel do. Well, what Lionel do is he got his own practice, but he's still balancing, multiple hustles, trying to find like when you can step back and say, hey, now I'm putting everything into this, just like you did. So, I mean, that's dope, man. I saw your the reel you had with the Nama juice, and that kind of talked about the beginning. So that kind of told that whole story in about them 3 minutes right there. But I know everybody might not have seen it, but that was like, for me watching that, man, I was like, damn, like I didn't know you personally, but I knew you. So I was like, damn, I remember, when he was starting it, when he would freeze them and he couldn't drive. He would drop them on my mom's porch. So I had to catch them. It was summertime, so I had to make sure I grab them before they was frozen. But for you to go from there to, I mean, shipping them all over the world, man, that's the thing where, like you said, where people didn't know that could be done. Because I didn't think, when I used to get juice from you, I was like, damn, I wonder, I don't know how much he'll be able to do this because you can't ship it anywhere. But that's just not knowing. But once you figure that out, that's like, it was all over then, because now, that's all you need. And I still don't know a lot of places that I can think of, that companies that ship, across the world like you probably can. So that's that's big, man. That's dope, man, because we done talked to so many people, mostly from this area. We said you from this area, so but everybody doing like dope stuff, man. I mean, we talked to Littles, he's doing something dope in the community. We talked to his brother, Dr. Dial. He doing something dope in the community. Will, Wes, you. I mean,
Just,
everybody. That's
yep, Jessica.
Jessica Carter.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody around here, man. They all got their own thing. And if you really think about it, it's a small area, man. But it's a lot of like
Yeah.
creative minds around here, man. And that's dope, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
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 that's part of why we, to your point of like there's not many businesses still doing this. You're
mhm.
absolutely correct. There's not, and that's why I started just a couple years ago. I started to teach the next wave of entrepreneurs that are coming through. So now we have a consulting side of the business, and we teach
Oh,
because
nice.
I've realized that no matter how like we do 500 sales a month of juice, and that's boxes like you used to get.
yeah,
We do 500 of those, and we make, that's like our max. We can't make any more than that. And we have a team of like 4. So
yeah,
like I started to think like I want to change the world and send boxes out to everybody in the world. But like I'm realizing like I could only send 500 a month. So we're only able to serve 500 people a month. So we need more people that are ready to start juice businesses and like share
Mhm.
this with the world, because like the time I always say, well, this is a very special time right now because it wasn't cool before COVID to have a green juice in your hand,
nah, man.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Like, especially for us guys, they'd be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
bro, what you doing? You about to lose all your muscle,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Now it's like, since COVID, everybody's like aware and open to having these conversations about health. And I feel like if there's not enough conversations, it's going to get lost in the sauce, and we're going to go back to eating processed foods and forgetting about how important health is, so
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, we need to be talking about this stuff more and, comfortable with these conversations, because true health comes from within, and
Mhm.
the more we can, you know, capitalize on that, and we can take care of ourselves, everybody going to be at a higher level frequency, higher frequency and everything. So,
yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
I was gonna say when you answered it, if I got a business, I don't think I'm a selfish person. But if I got a business, I want to know how much I'm willing to teach somebody else. Because you say, well, I'm not gonna teach Julian or Lionel because then we live in the same. They're in Virginia, I'm in Virginia. Wherever I was in Newport News or I was in North Carolina. But that's dope that when you did say you can't make but so many, but I feel like if you could make 2,000 a month, it's still that's a small part of the world. So it's still a
exactly.
lot of room for Lionel to do it, for me to do it, for the next
Mhm.
person to do it, because like you said, you can't, I mean, hopefully one day you will be able to, but you still, when you expand triple than what you're doing now, you still can't service everybody.
Exactly.
So
There's
that's dope
plenty,
that you spreading that
plenty.
word, man.
Yeah, there's plenty for everybody to eat. We can all eat. And I
Yeah.
always say this too, like, because I used to play basketball. And when we played basketball, when we were in college, the way we would give back is by teaching what we knew to the next wave of entrepreneurs or
Mhm.
basketball players, the
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
the kids
Mhm.
in high
Mhm.
school, they would come to the college camp. So we teaching them, so they can potentially, y'all probably seen the Bradley Beal video where he's talking to his
Yeah.
kids. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna take my job.
Yeah.
Right, right.
They're the next generation. So like, but there's plenty for us to all eat, So
Mhm.
there's
Yeah.
no reason to hold that. That's how recipes get passed down through generations, right? In the family,
Mhm.
you got
Mhm.
to pass all that stuff down
That's
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, nah. Nah, it makes me think of this quote. I think it's by Jim Rohn. It's if you help people get to where they're trying to go, by default, you get to where you're trying to go.
Mm,
And
that's a good one.
and so I love the pay it forward mentality. There's people out here that does consulting in my industry of therapy and practices, and you often get that question, why am I going to help, other practices reach a certain status that maybe provide competition to me? And you're right. I mean, I think it's like it's so much work to go around.
Yeah.
You don't have to fight over what's there, and I think,
Yeah,
that just going around helping people get to where they're trying to go, you by default you're going to get to where you're trying to be and trying to go. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And it helps diversify your income too.
absolutely.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Because he ain't giving
yeah,
away for free. So he is
yeah,
helping you. But hey,
yeah, yeah.
it's like those $5 juices back in the days.
Right, right.
You gotta pay, man. They ain't five no more, but hey, we had to start somewhere, but you gotta pay.
Yeah. And, and the other part of that too is yesterday's prices and today's price.
That's
Yeah.
that's a Fat Joe, New York.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
That's awesome, man.
but I would ask, so I remember last week I think we was talking back and forth, and you said you're trying to get these orders out. You said I'm gonna be juicing all night. So tell me, because when I do my juicing, right, I ain't making 500. I'm making about I probably make about a couple gallons or something. That's about what I'm making on Sunday. So when I do it, I hate the cleanup part. That's what I hate the worst. I don't know how it might be easier for you 'cause you got, big equipment, but I hate the cleanup. So usually I get my wife she gonna clean it up. I'm gonna make everything. You gonna wash these and rinse all this stuff out because I hate doing that. But my process, like, hey, it's kind of fun for me. So I'm gonna wash everything up. I put my music on, just mess with the kids a little bit. So what's your process when you juicing? Because I know it's like a mass production, but you got something that you do, like when you get in that mode, like it's time to, how do you say back in the day? It's time to make the donuts. It's
Yep.
time to get started. So what's your process if you have one?
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. So I
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
it. Said I enjoy it as well. It's like I know I'm doing something good for my body. So I take my time with the whole process, the setting it up, the cleaning the produce, the cutting it and prepping it, juicing it, cleaning it up. It's like taking care of your car, essentially. It's like, you got to drive it around, make sure you use it a little bit, clean it up, the inside and the out and all that. So it's like, it's a practice of like self-love. So I try to, sit in that and enjoy it, because I know I'm doing something good for myself. But I do exactly what you do. I throw some headphones in, I have some podcasts. So this is where I listen to all of that stuff I've learned over the years. I just throw my podcast in and I'm listening to doctors talk on health recipes and talking about this new study that was found that celery juice cures IBS or something, and they break down the study, and I'm just listening, music. I have a TV in the kitchen, so I watch the basketball games, and I still, get to fulfill my passion for basketball, watching them, watching the games while I'm juicing, and that's kind of how I pass the time. But I really enjoy being in the kitchen, and it's very therapeutic and self-care kind of vibes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Dope. That's dope. So let's talk to us a little bit more about business, man. Like, I guess, if you had to look back over your journey in business, what's the biggest lesson for you so far?
Man, that's a good question. Um, I would say to focus on providing value,
Mm,
because as a business, you essentially are trying to sell something to somebody, and you don't want to come off as a salesman, because what you're selling, you're really just trying to share it with somebody. The only way they can get it is if they give you money for it. So it's like consider selling, but you're truly trying to help somebody at the end of it, right?
yeah.
So when we put the money thing on it, it's like it turns into sales. But really, we just trying to help you. So
Yeah.
we
Mhm.
can't remember that. We can't forget about that part, and we have to focus on value, because over the years I've made my product better and better and better because I've listened to the customers. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm listening to what they want, and they're like, can you create a juice that's good for this ailment? Or can you
Mhm.
create a cleanse that's good for this, because I'm diabetic and I, can't do much sugar. So I created a low sugar diabetic friendly cleanse. Um, People were complaining about the shipping when I first started. So I made the packaging better, right? So I was always trying to create a higher value product for my customers, and
Mhm.
now things I'm doing are like getting text support set up, so that way they can get a text at every single time period that they're supposed to drink the juice, so they can have the
Mhm. Mhm.
reminder, right? Um,
Mhm.
I created brochures at one point because they were asking me, when should I drink the juices? And at first I was like, just drink when you're hungry. But then
Mhm.
people were like, no, I want, a schedule. Like, should I drink this at this time? And I was like, let me make it more valuable by creating a
Mhm.
specific schedule. So
Mhm.
that's one thing that I've always realize that helps take my business to the next level, when I keep
Mhm.
optimizing it and making it more valuable for the customer. So
Yeah.
it's like I feel like we're focusing on providing a better more valuable product, the business will keep growing and,
Mm-hmm.
keep it being able to help more and more people because they're going to keep telling their
Yeah,
friends because it's providing so much value. So
I love
definitely.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm just you know, I'm in the world of therapy, right? So I'm just thinking about applying that to what I do.
Yeah,
I ain't
yeah.
gonna hold you because that's
Nah.
you know you just think about just that value piece because like you make a great point. Just once you put $1 on your service, it it removes some of the. It can feel like to some people you're removing some of the integrity of what you're doing
Yeah.
because it starts to be more about the money versus the actual value of what you're doing, and but you
Yep.
always are enhancing your value. Even when you're talking, man, I could tell. I could see some of your influence of being a athlete on this. You
Yeah.
know, like talk to us a little bit about that. Like just how does being an athlete like and just that craft because what I'm hearing is craft. Like I'm working on my craft. You know,
Yeah.
so what's like how does the two correlate?
Yeah. So I mean, in business, like I know we just talked about at the end of the day, there's plenty for us to all eat, right?
Yeah.
But there still is competition though. So you
Mm-hmm.
can do what Jordan does, where he takes any little thing and he turns it into fuel, So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know there's plenty for us to all eat,
Yeah.
and technically there's no competition because there's plenty for us to all eat. I still want to be the best, and I want to challenge myself to be the best I can be, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always like watching the other businesses and seeing what they're doing, and then
Mm-hmm.
if, I can maybe do something similar, but put my own twist on it, or just trying
Yeah.
to make sure that our product is always the best. Because even that's why they say when you win the championship, now it's harder to stay on top, right? So even if my product and my business is doing well, I know that it's not going to be long before somebody comes through and is doing just as good as me and has a big impact. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
just like if you're the champion and the Celtics, they got to stay on top of their game because everybody's adjusting to come for them. So
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm doing good, but I got to stay tapped into that
Yeah.
competitive mentality because I know
Yeah.
there could be someone that's coming to crush the whole industry. So
Mm-hmm.
although I'm
Mm-hmm.
like trying to help others, somebody else might not. They might try to come through and take over everything. So I got to be ready, and
Yeah.
you know, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. So
Facts.
keep,
Facts.
So,
yeah,
so.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Lana, you ever had any Julian's juice before?
No, I haven't.
All right, so mine, right? I got a problem, Julian. So my favorite one that I used to get from you was the grapes,
Mm-hmm.
the red. I think it's just
Yep.
red grapes. So I think when I start juicing, I say
Mm-hmm.
I'm a juice. I love that. So I throw some ginger in there, maybe make like
True.
a little lemonade grape. I think you got a grape lemonade one, maybe two you used to have.
Yep. Yep. We
So
used to have.
that's my favorite. If I could have that, I drink that every day. But I'm juicing the
Mm.
grapes and they get clogged in the juicer all the time. So I only make it a little bit and then it's gonna start clogging up or whatever. So I said, man, I gotta ask Julian, man, because I just gave up juicing
What's
grapes.
the secret? What's the
so
secret?
so I need a secret, man. So you can tell me or you can text it to me, man. But I need a secret, man, because I mean I gave up, man. I retired. I retired from juicing grapes. Oh, my long, Julian. Yeah, but Lana, you ain't never wait till he come back, but yeah, that used to be my thing, man. I think he used to have that grape
Uh-huh.
lemonade. All of it was like call it red grapes or something like that. So it'd be all
Yeah.
grapes. And then he have like the apple, maybe apple and ginger or something like that. Cause I was usually on all the fruit joints. So everybody tell
Yeah.
you, oh, that's too much sugar. You're gonna get
Right.
I'm trying to be healthy. People talking about, you know how we do. You gonna get diabetes drinking juice. So I'm thinking like
You know how it go. You
yeah,
know how it
yeah. So
go.
I'm thinking like that's a different, but that's what we don't know because they tell you that it's a different type of
Yeah.
sugar than you
Right.
eating candy bar or eating a piece of cake.
Yeah.
But it can be, I think it can be like if you do it in too much, it can like
Mm-hmm.
be kind of counterproductive or something for you.
Right.
But yeah, man. But he got some. I used to be heavy on.
I'm gonna holler, man.
I
I'm
used to
gonna
be
do
heavy.
that 3 day. I'm gonna do that 3 day joint again.
Yeah,
I like the idea of every season
yeah, yeah. That's good.
detoxing,
That's good.
cleansing. You know,
Yeah,
like
that's good.
man, I think that'll be fun.
Especially for winter. What's
Hmm.
up, bro? Hey, is
Yeah, there you
especially
go.
especially for winter, and going into like coming from winter to spring. That's
Right.
good, man. So yeah, but yeah, I was telling you, Julian, just let me know about them grapes, man. But do you?
Yeah,
I mean, do it happen for you when you make yours? Do grapes do that, or is that something I'm doing wrong, man?
yeah. And can y'all see me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
All right, cool. Yes, my bad about that.
We good. We just kept it rolling. We just kept it rolling, man. I was just telling him about your recipes, man. What I used to get, man. He said he gonna jump on that cleanse, man. That change
Yeah.
the season cleanse.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure. Um, as far as the grapes, they do clog. So what I would
Yeah,
say to do,
I knew it couldn't be just me. I knew it couldn't be
yeah,
just me.
yeah, for sure. And I'll say I won't text you. I'll tell you on here because a lot of people probably deal with this, so a lot of people could probably benefit from the answer. But you
Right.
know when you have the spout that releases the juice,
Mhm.
so leave that open the entire time
All right. I
because
definitely ain't doing that right now.
yeah, when the grapes drop through from the top part into the bottom. What kind of juicer do you have, by the way?
I couldn't tell you. I think I got like a normal, like one of them, like a
Oh, the
smaller
Nama.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
One of the good ones for pretty
Yep.
much. I can't remember. I got one of the good ones though.
Gotcha. Do you have to?
Yeah.
Can you put all of it in and then close the top and just let it do its thing?
I can, but I'll be scared. So I just of certain like apples, I load it up. Cucumbers, but pineapple and grapes, I'm dropping like two grapes in at once, man. Hopefully, like trying to get
Oh,
lucky.
I
Like
got you.
so.
Yep.
But
So yeah,
normally I can drop in everything like watermelon, all I drop in whatever, load it up and let it
yeah,
go.
yep. So the what happens is when the grapes drop from the top section to the bottom section and they're going around, if when the liquid is in there, it's making it kind of smushy so
Yeah,
it's not
man,
able to get
that's the
through. But
worst,
if you
man.
leave the juice spout open, it won't fill
Mhm.
up. So when it's going through the bottom, it won't be sitting in liquid. So it'll be
Mhm.
able to push through faster. But if it's sitting in the
Yeah.
juice, it's gonna be all soggy. So if you
Yeah,
just leave that juice
that
spout
kills me,
open,
man.
yeah, that
Yeah, I
should
hope
do it.
that worked, man. If that worked, I'm gonna go get me a couple pounds of grapes tomorrow, man, because that was my thing. I
Yeah,
mean, I was jumping. I would. That was my thing. Would be grapes, some ginger, and then a couple lemons. That'll
yep,
be my. I can drink that every day, man. That and
yeah,
watermelon. That's my favorite things to mix and match with is the grapes and the whatever with the watermelon too. So yeah,
yes,
man.
sir.
Yeah. But what's your favorite thing that you make? Or you gotta. You see, like you like. I think you like the green guy. Like you heavy on that
Yeah,
green juice.
yeah. If I had to choose one, it would be the
Yeah.
greenhouse for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, which is it's cucumber, celery, parsley, kale, Granny Smith apple, lemon, and ginger. But sometimes I'll rotate the herbs.
Yeah.
So parsley, kale, or I'll do cilantro, mint, or I'll do dill and Swiss chard, or collard green, or
Yeah.
and you can mix it up because those are the ones that have the most nutrients as far as like minerals, vitamins, minerals. Those dark
Mhm.
leafy greens. So rotating those is good, so you can get the whole profile of vitamins and minerals.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I gotta work on that, man, because I ain't that much of a green guy. Like I do the cucumbers
Yep,
and I do mint leaves like with my watermelon or something like that. And I
yeah,
heard that you can do. I think it's right when you do strawberries. I hear you can leave the leaves on as long as you clean
yep,
it. I leave the leaves on because I heard somebody say that's like some cancer fighting something. There's
yep,
something in there, so I leave the leaves on. So that's something I just found out in the last probably few months or a year.
yep.
So yeah, but far as green, I got to get more into the greens like you're saying because you know how I don't say us, but people tell. I was just telling Lionel. People tell me because I'm drinking a lot of fruit juices, so they
Yep.
telling me like it's too much sugar. Like you're gonna get diabetes from drinking juice. But I was like, I don't think it's the same sugar, but I do think you can get too much of like just drinking grape juice all the time, or just cause I could drink a gallon of it like every day. So you do got to
Yeah.
balance it out with the greens
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. You definitely want to balance everything. Too much, like they say, too much of anything can hurt you,
Yeah,
right? So, it would take a lot of grape juice to hurt you because there's a lot of health benefits in that grape juice. But,
yeah, yeah,
if you're drinking gallons every day, you might get an overload of grape juice, benefits.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, the greens are going to help balance you out. The greens are going to give you a lot of the vitamins and minerals that we need. There's vitamins and minerals in the fruit juices, but those are more energizing
yeah,
juices.
And fruit, I like to say fruit juices are very cleansing because they have astringent properties, which basically the juice acts like magnets and it melts all the mucus and toxic waste and it'll pull it to the liquid and it'll flush it. So it's like got those magnetic properties where the veggie juices are more builders. So they're going to have a lot of the things that the cells and the organs need to be re-strengthened, right? So the fruits are good at flushing all the toxins out to make way for the rebirth and the growth of the muscles and the cells and stuff like that. So that balance, having both in there, will help get you the full benefits of all the different fruits and vegetables in the plant kingdom.
That's good. I
Take it to
didn't
school.
know that.
Take it to school, man. That's
Yeah,
what we here
yeah,
for,
yeah.
man. That's what we
Yep,
here
Yes,
for.
yep.
sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's dope,
That's
man.
what's up.
That's dope. That
yeah,
that's like that's the thing now. It's bad that I mean for you that was good, but like we were talking with other people, man. Mostly everybody that transitioned or switched to chase whatever they wanted to chase, it was all because of something bad happened.
yeah,
So for you, it's kind of, I guess, I don't know, it's just the way it is sometimes, but mostly we got to see something go wrong or something not, go the way we think it should for us to like hit that light come on or, flip that switch. But hey, it seemed like you on the right path, man. And, like I said, I've been seeing it's dope that, I mean, how long you been doing it? Like 7 years?
yeah. 7, 8 years, 8 years now. Yep.
Yeah, so that's dope, man, to see that journey, man. I know that feels good to, you can look back. You don't want to look back too much, but you can look back and like reflect and say like, like I just started from just a hobby, just an interest of me having curiosity for bettering my health, man. And now you turned it into a job, man, a career or a lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind
Yeah,
of
man.
mind blowing sometimes because it's. I feel like I just started yesterday and it just all happened so fast, but it's been a blessing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh
Let me
yeah.
ask you, do you have any like other, what do you see, like, you ever see yourself like storefront, uh, buses. I mean, you know how the mobile thing. Do you see anything different for it, or is it always going to be just I'm gonna go in the lab, cook it up, and box it up and ship it out?
Yeah, I think I initially the idea was Julian's juice box, and I would have a juice truck, like a box of juice that goes around the country.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that would be something that I would be willing to do, but that kind of just went out the wayside because the shipping took off. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I just been focusing on that, and we could serve more people because we can reach more people that way. But I think a juice box would be fun. So if we were to do anything, it would be that. But definitely, and then we have the consulting side of the business, so that's going to be something we grow too. But yeah, just sticking to what we're doing. It works. People love it. So. And we know we're helping people become healthier, so just trying to keep doing what we're doing and just double down on that for now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, and that's sound. Yeah, I mean, it's great time. I mean, it's probably one of the most health conscious times we've been
Yeah,
in, and
for
so
sure.
yeah, I don't blame you, man. Just bear down, man. Bear
Yeah.
down and keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
No, no, no.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. But look, man. We know you're still on the road, man. Or you still in transit or something, man. So we
Yeah.
appreciate you, man, putting it in park for us for a little bit, man, and
Yeah, appreciate it.
blessing us, man. It's been a long time coming, but hey, we here,
Yeah.
like they say, and like again, man, we appreciate it, man, and we can keep rocking with you, man. Support whatever you're doing, man, and that's dope. Like I said, with this community, man, we got a lot of creative minds, man, and you just another one of them, man. So before we roll out, man, Lionel, he gonna get you to send us off, man. So Lionel, go ahead and do your thing, man.
Yeah, man. You don't get you to do the benediction, brother. So so no. But all jokes aside, man. Before you get out of here, we would love for you to bless the listeners with a key for the day. Something that they can use and apply to their lives, their situation, their personal business, whatever they choose. But if you have anything inspiring, motivating, anything that can get people going, man, what you got for
Yeah, for sure. That's perfect timing for this question because I just heard
them?
something really good a couple weeks ago. So,
Yeah.
and I would say this kind of applies in business and relationships and health and everything really. But you know, sometimes life can just feel overwhelming to where we don't want to do anything. And if we can just get ourselves up to become 1% better every day in a year, we would have had 3.65x, because we would have
Right.
365% better than we were
Yeah.
at the start of the year if we just
Right.
do a day. So
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just a little bit, like, you know, we may not do the most that day. If we just do 1% and we can stay consistent, that's going to be 365% or 3.65x, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that for
Yeah.
that year.
I
But
love
a
that.
triple our where we were from the last year. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, like, I know, you know, what I said today, probably vegan for 8 years, and I could do juice cleanses every 3 months. Like, you know, there's no reason to do what I do tomorrow. Like, it's been 8 years. Just start drinking the juice a day, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
start eating one of your meals out of three. Just make it a healthy meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just save a little bit more money today than you did yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And over a year, that consistency will be like, dang, there's a big change, right, from last year. So that
Mm-hmm.
would be something.
Nah, it's solid. That's solid. I appreciate that.
That's it, man. That's like you didn't even throw too much on us, man. You said, hey, little bit at a time, man.
Yeah,
1% every day, and that's like you said, Lionel. I know Julian heard that in basketball before, because I know I did. Did we get better
yeah,
today? That's what coach said. Did we get better today?
yeah,
1% every day. Just that's the slogan, man. When you talking to an
yeah,
athlete, man, they ask them, what are y'all doing? We just trying to get better every day. Put in some work, try to get a little bit better than we did yesterday. So yeah, you're right, man. That applies to everything, man. So
yeah.
that's a strong one, man. We can roll with that, man. But yeah, man. Hey, y'all can catch him, man. Julian Juice Box, Julian the Juice Man, and we appreciate you, man. Pulling up on us, man. And hey, next time, we catch you when when you expand and to do something else, or if we expand and do something else, man. We had you come on and
Sure.
we share the love, man.
Absolutely. We got to do an update soon in the
Yes,
year or
sir.
so, six
Yes,
Yes,
months.
sir.
sir.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate y'all for having me on and putting on for the flu and just Central
Yeah.
Virginia. So, like you said,
Yeah,
there's a bunch
man.
of creative people and talented people. So this is awesome what y'all are doing. And also, shoot me a message with y'all's address. I'm gonna send y'all some juice.
I
Oh
love.
man.
All right.
Oh man.
For
That's
For
sure.
what's
sure,
up, brother.
man.
Yeah.
And I wasn't gonna say nothing. I'm a little bit putting on for the loot too. I wasn't gonna say nothing. And shout out to
Yeah,
Miller and
that's
Miller
all good.
School, man. So I'm putting on
Hey,
for a couple of different spots, man. But we all good, man. We
yeah,
appreciate you, man. And we're gonna send you the
for
address, but I ain't gonna forget it's
sure.
on tape.
For sure. Hey, I got y'all.
All
I
right, man.
got y'all.
All right, bro. Be easy, man.
All right, Joe.
All right,
Peace,
yes,
All
bro.
sir.
right.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
How can you pretend?
Now rocking with the elite.